What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video we're going to be continuing to work on our 03 Silverado truck that I have here right behind me that we've been working here on the channel. And on last video I took off the box off the truck and I put it off to the side. Now I've gone ahead and I have removed the fender flares. And if any of you guys have ever removed the GM fender flares, they are famous for rotting underneath, and that is exactly what has happened here. So I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you guys. So this is where the fender flare was, and obviously it has rotted through underneath. Now the initial plan was, now you can buy a replacement panel that goes across here, up here, across, and back down where I've drawn the line, and it comes right in here at the body line. Now that's a very inexpensive panel. That panel's about, depending on where you go, it's about 44 bucks. Plus tax, plus shipping, all that stuff. Now my only issue was my body line is actually rotted right here and it has a hole and it's coming apart. So I started doing some research, and on the bottom here you can also buy this panel and you can also buy this panel on this side. Now those panels are not so cheap. So I started exploring some other things. Now you can actually replace this whole bedside. Now that's also very expensive. I'm looking at tax, shipping, by the time I get it here, about $1,000. So I started exploring some other options. So I'm looking online and I find a couple boxes that are for sale. Now they're ranging around from about the $1,500 mark up to the $1,800 mark, depending on, you know, the shape, the condition, if it's prime, if it's ready to paint. But that's pretty much all I could find that was available right now. So I was also, when I was scrolling down online, I saw something that was posted 7 weeks ago. Now it was a box. Same box, 6.6 foot bed. And from the photo, I could see no body damage whatsoever. So I messaged him, we're having a conversation. He's about 2.5 hours away from me. He says, you know, there's no body damage on it. The bed's good. You can actually have it for free. Just come pick it up. It's in my way. I actually had to put it in my garage because I couldn't keep it in my driveway anymore. So I said, okay, perfect. I'll come on Friday. So I go out there on Friday, and in the photos he sent me, the wheel arches were totally fine. They weren't rotted through whatsoever, and that's the problem that we have here on this bed. So I went out there, and when I went out there, it ended up being a really bad snowstorm. And I mean, it was bad. It was a blizzard. And I went with a buddy of mine. So we're out there, we're picking up the bed, and we pulled the bed out of the garage, and there was like no lighting in the garage. So I pulled the bed out, and it's a complete blizzard. I mean, I can't see anything in front of me. The snow is accumulating by the second. So we loaded the bed on. I couldn't really see anything. I strapped it down the best I could. We loaded it on top of my pickup truck bed. We flipped it upside down on some 2x4s. We threw it on. So I went to the gas station. I get there, and I'm starting to check out this bed. So I wanted to use that bed. That was my plan. I wanted to actually just use that new bed and, you know, to fix any little minor dents and stuff, paint it, prep it, and then put it on this truck here, and then just get rid of my bed. Okay, so what happened was I actually started inspecting the bed under some light at the gas station, and I started noticing that the body panels underneath the bed at the back are all caved in, and there is a lot of body damage on it. So now I'm thinking, what do I do? So I get home, you know, I get the bed in the garage and I'm looking at it, and I'm not sure what to do. So I've explored a couple options here, and basically what I'm gonna do is where the fender flare is on the actual bed, I'm gonna cut just below that line. Here's where the fender flare goes on the bed right here. So what I'm gonna do is, because on the new bed, the body is damaged down here, I'm actually gonna come out up here, I'm gonna go up, and I'm gonna cut just under where the fender flare goes, and I'm gonna come back down and I'm gonna cut right here. Because on this bed, I don't know if you guys can see, but that's a big hole there. That's nicely dented in, but the panel I need is solid. Yeah, sure, there's some scratches and stuff like that, but the panel I need is solid, and this is also caved in, and it's probably even worse on the other side. So for now, that's gonna be our plan of action. Hopefully it works. Went out also on Friday, and I got a few things that we are going to be using. A new die grinder made by Husky. I'm gonna try that out today. I think that's going to be a pretty good unit. I went out and I grabbed the Ryobi grinder. It's a cheaper grinder. It's like their mid-grade grinder. I actually picked up the cheaper one, which is like 40 bucks. But it didn't have the trigger grip down here. It had the trigger up here, which I didn't like. So I upgraded to the other one. It was like, it ended up being like 59 bucks. I picked up some discs that we're going to be using, some cutting discs, this kind of stuff we're going to use for the frame. Just grabbed I went out this week and I actually priced out some frame paint, but I was out yesterday at the local home hardware and I grabbed this rust coat, which I'm going to spray just inside the fenders after I do the cutting up inside the fender well there. I just grabbed a couple of these lights. I was at Home Depot and I was looking at the Milwaukee task lighting, and the little ones were like, ended up being about $100. So when I was actually standing in line to grab this can, I actually saw these and I said, how much are they? And they're like, the lady said $3 a piece. So, you know, it's got the magnetic on the back plus a little thing up top here. I mean, it's pretty bright. So I think those are going to be good, you know, good enough for what I paid for them. So yeah, I think we got all the tools here to get started. You guys can see it right here. I'm doing this in a residential garage, and I think I've done a pretty good job of fitting that truck in here, this bed, and having a little bit of room to walk around. Like I said in a previous video, I am in a residential garage, and I'm making it work. I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it. Definitely something different coming in the future, garage-wise. Definitely looking at houses where I can either get a permit, build my own garage, or looking at something that's pre-existing already that will suit my needs. But with that being said, guys, let's get straight into cutting apart this bed. Alright guys, so we're going to start grinding bed number 2. Now, I couldn't really find a good way to actually measure the cutout piece onto the other bed, because when I took that piece apart off the bed, that piece of metal that I cut out, it was pretty much rotted and flimsy, and it's a little bit hard to measure. So what I'm going to do is I got a rough outline. I'm going to go oversize and we're going to trim it down once I get it cut off. So I'm here test fitting this piece and just doing some trimming here, and I'm going to go inside and I'm going to trim that wheel well piece that we took out that's also attached to here. I got some trimming and some lining up to do here. Don't know what I'm going to do about that gap, but I'm going to figure it out. So as you can see, guys, I'm going through and I'm going to coat the whole inside of this fender just like that. Easy as that. I've gone through and just thrown a quick coat on it. I am going to be spraying the underside of the bed, but I just wanted to paint whatever isn't going to be accessible after we weld that piece on. The piece is all in place here. Now on this side, you know, I've definitely seen better and I've definitely seen worse. I'm gonna have to do a little experimenting there, but for this side, it's looking pretty good overall. Got a nice solid wheel arch with no rust. Now this is what we're left with on this side. And now we're gonna go work on the other side. We're gonna do things a little bit differently here. On the other side, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the piece out of this bed, then transfer it over to this bed, mark and cut, because I did run into some issues with cutting this piece first, then trying to transfer the measurements over to there. So on the other side, I'm going to do it reverse. This is the other side of the bed. This side isn't too bad at all. So we'll probably come down here, we'll go up, we'll cut this piece out. But like I said, I'm gonna actually cut this piece first, and then transfer it over to that piece and line it all up. So let's get right to it. It's not looking good, running out of tape. Hopefully this side goes better than the other side. Like I said, because that other side, you know, I definitely seen better, if you know what I mean. Ain't much to it, let's just do it.
You out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright, they look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? You're all I need. Can I take you there? Can I take you there? Keep telling me it's alright. How could I be so blind? I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright, they look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there?
So cutting wise, guys, I feel like the second time I did it here on the passenger side, it definitely went better, and that's just because now I'm doing it a second time, and I mean, I don't do this every day, so everything just comes with practice, as you guys know, and experience. So we're just gonna take a look at the truck right now for a second here. This is also pretty rusted. I was able to cut some of it off, but pretty clean cut. And I'm gonna line this up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spray a nice coat of nice thick rust paint in there to prevent it from rusting anymore. side all lined up as well. Lines are definitely a lot better here. I still made this one mistake. I still did the same thing on the other side. I have this gap right here, so I'll definitely have to see what I could do with that when I start welding. For the most part, I think it looks really good. Now, this whole bed is pretty much scrap. Like I said, it's getting picked up tomorrow. I think I'm going to take out the taillights. A little bit of money there. I can sell them. Fuel door on the other side is going to come off. Now I got a big mess behind me. I do need to clean up. Absolute disaster with all the rust and leftover stuff. I know it's a little bit longer of a video with just cutting out something so simple with the wheel arches, but it did take me a good part of the day. Definitely longer than what I thought it was going to be. I made a couple mistakes, but that's no big deal. It is a learning process. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and get down there and hit subscribe if you guys want to follow the project or the build and see everything I'm doing here on the channel. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get to clean up this garage, and I'll see you guys in the next video.